Okay, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is Ultra David.
I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
Everybody can hear us, right? You guys could hear the music earlier.
They were saying that they could hear the music,
right.
So that's usually a good sign. And I remember to turn the microphones on.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
Doing my due diligence. So we have a few things to talk about today. Probably the bulk of it is going to be related to Capcom Cup.
Yes.
Qualifiers for Street Fighter 4 are over. Marvel Poll is in. And so that means that we know everybody who's going to be playing at the Capcom Cup, and we'll talk all about that. We'll also talk, I guess, about the new Curleh that was announced. We'll talk a little bit about Ultra Street Fighter 4 moves. And then, if we have time, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll come up with it probably. Or maybe you guys will ask a question.
As well as the nice planned Tuesday shows that we always have. So.
See, this is why we can do the Tuesday show. Like, it's not a burden, you know?
Yeah, during our hiatus. Yeah.
Doing the Monday shows is different. We have to prepare. We gotta, like, watch videos
Think
or make
about
slideshows.
What to do. Yeah, like,
all
what should
stuff.
I do my subject on this? Tuesday, it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah. We show up and we're like, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I mean, we totally plan it. So here's the thing. Like I said, Capcom Cup Asia Finals results occurred. The players who were there were Infiltration, Momochi, Gamerbee, Fudo, Gact, and Dako.
Right.
Which is a pretty solid lineup.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
That's a pretty solid lineup of players in Street Fighter 4. I mean, if you're gonna bring together that many, it's, you know, as far as Asian players go, that's really strong. So, the finals, the final results, that is, Gact won. So Gact qualifies.
Fei Long player.
Fei Long player from Singapore. Yeah, exactly.
So, Fei Long.
Yeah. Second place was
Fudo. Fei Long.
Yeah. Third was Infiltration. Fourth, Dako. Fifth, Gamerbee. And sixth was Momochi.
Now, interestingly enough, Gamerbee already qualified. He qualified at the Taiwan one, didn't he?
No, that was for this.
Oh, that was for this. Oh, gotcha. Okay. And Infiltration already qualified in the tournament that he used Oni, right? Or was that also a qualifier for this?
That was also a qualifier for this.
Really?
Yeah.
So do we have any Infiltration then?
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, it's pretty crazy. But it was a cool, like, arrangement. It was a 3-day process. It was a 1st to 7 kind of round robin style.
Oh, wow. So it was just those 6 guys?
Yeah.
Oh, because they all qualified. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
At 1st to 7, but there was also, like, the tennis rule where you had to win by 2.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty sick.
It's kind of funny because I remember when Vi did the specialists a long time ago, and he, like, pit 2 people against each other. Like, I suggested that. I was like, let's do this tennis setup where you have to win by 2 and stuff like that. See, so they all stole my idea.
Not that many people want to do that, but I guess when it's for something like this, you have 6 players like that, and you get them together. Interesting. So the results, like I said, Gact won. He was 4-1 in terms of wins, like match wins.
Okay.
Right. Obviously, you play against 5 other people because there's 6 total. But Fudo was also 4-1, and the tiebreaker was the number of individual games that you won.
Right.
So Gact was plus 18, Fudo plus 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it made much of a difference anyway because they both qualified, right? So I think it was the top 2 who qualified for that event, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, regardless, they were both making it in there. So
right, and Infiltration, you know, he went 3-2. He was plus 3. So, which is not maybe as many wins as you might think that he would get, but.
So Akuma confirmed mid-tier.
Well, you know what's really interesting in terms of his character choice was that it wasn't just Akuma actually.
Okay.
He went with Hakan.
Oh, he did play Hakan.
When the chips were down, when everything was looking bad, he went with Hakan. It was against Fudo at the end, and it was basically to qualify or not. Like, cause it was 4-1. The winner would be 4-1. Loser would be 3-2.
Right.
So it's to qualify.
Right.
And he goes with Hakan at the end.
Who was this against? Oh,
this is against Fudo.
Yeah.
This is against Fudo.
So that was it. Yeah.
That was it.
Dude, I don't know. Hakan versus Fei Long is not a.
Dude, I agree. I think Fei wins that. And in the Hakan forums, people were like, why would he go with Hakan here? Like, did he just think that Fudo didn't know the matchup?
Maybe he was hoping to recreate the Evo magic. I don't know.
And to be fair, he made it close. It was not a blowout.
Okay.
It was not. I still think that his Hakan is a little raw, that it's not as complete as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I mean, he lost. And I got to, even as a Hakan player, I got to question that decision. Maybe especially as a Hakan player, because I've played that matchup and I think it's
well,
a battle,
I mean, like
so.
when even before he picked Hakan at Evo against PR Rog, I was about to say, you know, I wonder if he's going Hakan, because Hakan does. Well, I mean, does he beat Balrog? I know he's really good against Balrog.
I think he beats Balrog, personally.
So, yeah, I mean, from all the conversations we had, you could do meaty slides, and he can't do anything with that
tricks.
And stuff like that.
So, a lot of good footsies and
you know,
pressure.
That wouldn't surprise me, but to see him pick him against Fei Long is weird to me, especially for the qualifier.
Right? Yeah,
right?
It's not like the first game that they played in their set. He was like, "Oh, try Hakan. We'll see how it goes." No, it was at the end.
Right. Exactly.
So I
mean, like
clearly,
he wasn't warmed up with Hakan
Yeah.
or anything like that. So I don't know.
And before he actually picked Hakan, he takes this long break. You know, he's you could see. I mean, there's the camera on him, and he's doing some of this. You know, he's doing some of it. He's and his head's down and all that kind of stuff. And I guess he just didn't think that his Akuma could cut it.
Did you see any of the match?
Yeah, I did.
Did his Akuma lose badly to Fei Long?
No, I mean it was 4-6 at the time. Okay. So he had four wins in the set. Fudo had 6.
And it was a first to 7.
Right. So I mean he won 4 times with Akuma. Right. It's not like he was 7-0, 6-0 or something like that. So no, it wasn't.
Okay.
I mean I don't know what to tell you, but so as a result, there is no infiltration. Perhaps the most dominant Street Fighter 4 player of the last couple of years in the Capcom Cup.
I don't know.
Which is weird.
There's no Daigo either.
There's no Daigo either.
There's no Daigo and infiltration in this tournament.
I mean, there's a lot of people that we might have thought.
Right.
Frankly.
I mean, obviously for Street Fighter 4, we have at least like 20 people who could have made it, right? So you're going to be missing certain people.
Right.
But Daigo and infiltration are like 2 of the people that I would not have guessed not making it at all. I thought they would have been shoo-ins, right?
I especially thought that infiltration was a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, Daigo, sometimes in a tournament, he's not, I don't know, lately, I guess, has not been as great as if it's like a first to 10 set.
See, everyone keeps making that joke. Does infiltration need laugh, you know? Does he need that coach?
I mean, I don't know if it's a joke.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's the issue. Laugh is a really smart person. He's an educated guy. He's a really smart dude, and he's
a great
very
strategist.
smart. Very smart in fighting games, as well as other things, but specifically in fighting games too. So, I mean, I would think that having a coach next to you who's also a very smart person, very good with analysis, would be useful. And maybe having that practice partner would be useful.
The training partner is probably one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So.
But that said, from all of my experiences with Infiltration himself, he also seems like a very smart guy.
Yeah.
Obviously capable of great fighting game play, very, very analytical. He has a great feel for it, as well as being a scientist about it. He's got this great balance. I mean, I don't know. The results seem to not have been the best since he and Laugh
I'm telling you right now, on his iPhone, whenever he looked at it, it just says "Laugh believes in you," and now he can't look at that anymore. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. So I mean, now that the Asia Cup is finished and we got Fudo and Gact going in there, 2 Fei Longs.
Right.
So what is the top 8?
So
for Capcom Cup.
Right. The final 8 for Capcom Cup in Street Fighter 4 are Xian, who qualified because he won Evo.
Right.
Pretty big deal. Sako also qualified from the Treta Championship, which was, I think that was the Brazilian one.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris G
won the Fall Classic.
The American rep, from the Fall Classic. Haitani, Tokyo Game Show, he qualified there. Aliun qualified at Play Expo 2013. Tokido, Shadow Showdown qualifier. And then the most recent ones, Gact and Fudo. So we have, I guess, Gen, I don't know, Ibuki, Evil Ryu, I guess depends on what Sako wants to play.
Right.
Chris G with Sakura, Haitani with Makoto, Aliun with Kami, Tokido with Akuma, and then Gact and Fudo both with Faye.
Wow, okay, I didn't know it was so Asia stacked. But I guess a lot of the qualifiers were in Asia.
It does. I guess you're right. It does seem Asia stacked. Even the one that was in South America, Sako traveled there and won.
So basically, it's 6 Asian players, then 1 from U.S., which is Chris G's, the only U.S. player, and then 1 from Europe, which is Aliun.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's weird. The thing is that obviously
Aliun's from France, right?
Yeah,
he's not from UK. He's from France.
No, French.
So yeah.
Right. You know, to be fair, they're not all from the same country in Asia. You have Japan represented as well as Singapore.
And China, right? No, China didn't make it. No, that's right. That's right.
So Gact and Shen are both from Singapore.
Right.
Fudo, Tokido, Haitani, Sako, all from Japan. Half of it is Japanese. And then, yeah.
But you know what? I mean, the character variety is still pretty interesting. Obviously, Gact and Fudo making Fei Long, I think that's the only repeat, right?
That is the only repeat.
But we still have, again, I mean, obviously, Haitani's going to be the fan favorite. I think he's going to be the crowd favorite.
You think you like Makoto for a fan favorite?
Because it's Makoto, right? I mean, Makoto is probably the weakest character out of everyone who's going to be playing there, right? Sakura, Gen, we've seen Gen enough now, right?
Yeah, Gen's really good.
No one's going to be cheering for Cammy.
No.
Akuma, Fei Long, right? So
Ibuki, Evil Ryu.
Evil Ryu. Okay, Sako and Haitani. Yeah. If Sako,
I don't really know where to rank those characters.
If Sako goes with Evil Ryu, everyone will be rooting for him.
Well, he will in some matchups if they come up.
For sure.
And I don't know what the format's going to be for Capcom Cup. I don't think that they've announced that yet. Whether it's going to be double elim. I assume it's just a double elim tournament, but I suppose we'll see. We don't know what any of the matchups will be. But it is, you know, it's annoying to me as an American living in North America that there's only one U.S. rep, because I think that we're really good.
Yeah.
But that said, you know, you can't quibble too much. The only thing that I wish was that there weren't 4 Japanese players.
Yeah.
I guess agree. I mean if China was repped, if Australia was repped, if other European countries were repped, if Brazil has a couple good players, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
I just feel like it's too bad that it's half all one country. But that said, obviously Japan has been pretty consistently the best country in fighting games, in Capcom fighting games.
Right. What's funny is because like every year before we do EVO, we're always like, how many Japanese players are going this year? And this last year it really surprised us because what was it? There was like a representative from like, I think Japan had 3 representatives. I think it was Haitani, Sako, and Tokido, right?
What in
EVO?
Oh, in top
EVO.
8.
Yeah, in top 8.
Yeah. Well, 4 out of the 5 gods were.
Oh, that's right. So there was 4 of them. Yeah, you're
Daigo
right.
was in, right?
Okay.
Daigo was top 8,
Daigo
right?
was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was also half Japanese.
Yeah. So Japan. I mean, it seems like a proper representation.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's why I can't quibble with it too much. It's just like I'm personally annoyed because I just have my own loyalties. But you know, that said, what can you do? It's,
right.
It's not unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still be a lot of fun to watch. I'm still excited about that. So, and especially because I actually have no experience with Gact at all. I don't know what his Fei Long playstyle is like. I haven't seen very many matches from him. So it'll be really interesting to see what kind of contrast that he has with. I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of Fudo and Mago.
Sure.
But like I said, I haven't watched Gact play before.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite among these 8?
Yes, who's your favorite among these 8?
Oh my god, that's it's too tough. I would probably
Wow, this is really a struggle for you, isn't it?
Why don't you go first?
Just looking at this, I'd have to either go Sako or Tokido. I'll take
Sako
or Tokido, yeah. He's one of the gods, dude. I mean, I know Haitani is as well, but still.
That's right. Two of the 5 gods. Maybe.
Yeah,
that's
but
cool.
Is Tokido considered one of the gods?
He
is, right? He was one of
Haitani and Sako.
Yeah,
Wait.
but Tokido's one of the gods too, right?
Oh, yeah,
so
right?
3 of the same 4 people, just no Daigo.
Yeah. Well, how about that? Okay.
We are on fire today.
Telling you, this is the last minute every week.
Up too late playing Third Strike.
Yeah. No. I guess I would put Shen and probably Tokido at the top. But the hardest, so calling a winner is ridiculous because it's just I don't know who goes 0-2.
Two people are gonna go 0-2
Necessarily.
Right? Yeah. I mean, seriously, just write their names on a piece of paper and go whee and just grab.
It really depends on the matchups, and I hope that we'll get the brackets beforehand. I hope that's out. I hope that's out.
Oh, I see. Like even
I don't mean like that day. I mean like a week or 2 weeks before, because I'd love to talk more about those individual matchups. That's really what it'll come down to, I think. You know, are those
come on, you guys.
matchups?
People are saying that the two people are going to go 0-2 on Christie and Alioun. That would be really, really unfortunate.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be really, really unfortunate.
Chris is also, of course, in Marvel. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So he's got
I mean,
two
the
things
interesting
to do.
thing about Chris is, like, we've been talking about it, how he was never considered one of the best in Street Fighter 4. You know, like, he's really good, but I've always considered people like Justin and Dominion better. And now he has gotten himself to the point where he's really good at the game. And now he's representing U.S. for this Capcom Cup. So
Right. I got to be honest, that wouldn't surprise me if those were the two. Which I think really sucks, man. But, you know, like I said, if it's like Alioun plays against Tokido at the start, maybe that's a good matchup for Cammy. Maybe it's not a great one for Tokido. Like, it's just...
You're trolling me, dude.
Yeah, I think that she wins. So, but I really think that that's a big part of it, is the matchup.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that, I suppose, whenever we find out. Hopefully, like I said, we do find out in advance.
Right.
I do think it's going to be tough to decide who goes 0-2. It was the same issue with Street Fighter 25th Anniversary Grand Finals, where there were 16, and 2 of those players went 0-2, and they were amazing players who would win many a tournament and have won many a tournament. But that happens. So, well. You want to, I guess, take a break before we talk about...
Before we go to Capcom for the Marvel. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Marvel 3 poll results when we come back.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, welcome back to Tuesday. We're going to keep talking about the Capcom Cup, but this time we'll switch over to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yep, and of course there was no qualifiers for this. This is all through the voting.
Right.
So this list was released like right when we finished our show, like the next day or something.
It was so annoying to us. We were really hoping to be able to talk about this last week, but it was released Wednesday morning.
But we can talk about it now. So it's good because it gave us more topics to talk about. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. And actually, if we had talked about it that very night, we would have missed some important info that actually came out later that day.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you don't recall, if you weren't paying attention, there was a poll. It was just a voting poll to decide who were the top 8, or the 8 rather, people who were going to play in the Marvel 3 event at Capcom Cup, and specifically, the poll had a prompt that asked for who you thought was hype.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind when thinking about the results. It specifically asked for hype. Different people had different feelings on that. Some people like the best players. Some people like kind of silly stuff. Mm-hmm. The definition of hype changes depending on the person. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Hanzo says in the chat, man, I didn't make it in there. So if I got in there, it would have been hype.
Oh my god, that would have been the worst.
Would have been terrible.
That would have been so horrible. It would have been funny for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know, until I get destroyed,
like,
and then you're just like, now it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's like, please
that was a
stop,
wasted
he's
spot.
already dead.
So we talked about last week who we thought was going to make it, and we actually got a couple of them in here. Let's go over the list. So
let's just go in the voted order.
Right.
Yeah.
So first place was Nemo, and we don't know how many votes. There's just like this bar graph that could represent however many numbers.
Yeah.
Justin Wong was second. Kane Blue River was third. Yipes was fourth. Abigan fifth. Chris G sixth. Filipino Champ seventh, and Marlon Pai eighth. Those last three pretty similar vote tallies, it looks like.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's basically Nemo, Justin.
Yeah.
And then like Kane and IFC Yipes. And Abigail's kind of in the middle of the other three.
Yeah, but it seems like they're all pretty similar vote tallies.
Yeah.
Pretty close ones. So those are the 8. There were lots of people we talked about who might be able to make it, who I guess did not. We can talk about that a little bit. But interestingly, you brought up the country's representation.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that first.
There are more Japan representation here in Marvel 3 than there is U.S. representation in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
Because there's a 25% Japanese representation as opposed to a 12.5%.
Right.
That's crazy.
Which is pretty nutsy, but it's not undeserved at all. Like Nemo is considered to be one of the best players in the world. He hasn't been to enough tournaments to say that he's had like tournament success.
Right.
But he's super awesome.
He got voted in because everyone wants to see him try to take down all the American players, and two, because he won all those money matches, right? And so they want to see that run back.
Filipino champ and Chris G.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually really surprised Abigail made it, to be honest with you.
Now, I voted for Abigail, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I voted for I voted for, I guess, 5 of the people who made it, but, you know, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I voted for Abigail. It's because I think his play is kind of silly. And if you haven't played against Abigail before, it's tough. I mean, you see really good players lose to him the first time that they play, because he just has, you don't see Tron very often, you don't see She-Hulk Anchor very often, and so if you don't know what to look for, he can blow you up. That said, I know he's played against a lot of these players.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when he was in California for a little bit, people were playing against him, and so they do have experience. I know. So I guess we'll see whether that comes up.
I figured Yipes was gonna get in.
Did you? See, I didn't.
Yipes is probably the most one of the most popular players, right? I mean, and he even said like he didn't even necessarily want to go in it, but dude, I mean, when you have the word Marvel and you have the word hype, the first name that pops in your head is Yipes, right? So
yeah, it's just he's a good player, but I guess I didn't think he would make it because I thought people identified him more as a commentator rather than as a player. I mean, he can play Marvel super awesomely, but for a while he wasn't. After he got super good. Remember, at the start of the Marvel 3, he was not that great. He didn't play very seriously. Then he got really good.
Right.
Then he kind of dropped off for a little bit. He wasn't really playing the game. He was playing like shooters and stuff.
And then the Danger Room kind of got him back in it a little bit.
Right.
But I mean, that's kind of the same reason why, for example, Marlon Pie made it in there, right? He hasn't been playing much at all. Like, he literally disappeared out. He's been busy with work, school, I think it is. I don't know if it's both or just one. But there he is in top 8 because Marlon Pie, I mean, he's the most electrifying man in Marvel.
That was the biggest surprise to me. That Marlon Pie. That was more of a surprise to me than Flocker not making it. Okay.
Flocker, I mean,
look,
I love Flocker.
We'll get that. We'll talk about who didn't make it.
Okay.
As far as Marlon Pie, I'm confused. I guess it's funny to see Doom combos. Those like amuse me. Okay, but it's not. I don't think that's hype. I don't care about combos. Okay, let me just say that. Right. So it doesn't matter to me. And he hasn't won majors in the same way that Justin has, a Chris G has, F Champ has. So I was surprised. I was.
Yeah, but as soon as the trailer said hype, like I just had this feeling.
You think it's hype? It's hype to you? The
Marlon Pie stuff? Oh yeah.
Really? Yeah. It's whatever to me.
Basically, honestly. I mean, it's kind of that thing, right, where a super fancy slam dunk is still 2 points.
Right.
But it's hype. It gets the crowd going into it. It builds that momentum because they're doing something nobody else can do. Whenever you see something like that just gets people hyped. When somebody does something that you do not have the ability to do and may never have the ability to do,
I certainly can't dunk.
It's hype.
See, I don't care about dunks in basketball, right? It's a gripe that I have with basketball and basketball culture. In hockey, when there's a sick goal scored, it's because he had to do that. In order to get it past the goalie, you gotta pull some sick crap. All right. Whereas in a dunk, it's like you're not defended in some cases, and you go up and you do a little twirly do, and then who cares?
Because you're in front of the home crowd, or if you're
I don't care about that. It's not hype.
It's momentum.
It doesn't matter. Momentum. If there's a dunk over some defender, different story. That's cool because you had to do it. If it's some frivolous crap, I don't care. What?
AJ says you watch WNBA.
Me?
What? Didn't you tell him about our fundamentals make up for our lack of dunking?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, that was a surprise to me. I guess I can understand why it wasn't to you, but I don't know. King Blue River getting third, I thought was a surprise. I thought he had a pretty good chance to make it in, but I wouldn't have guessed third place.
Yeah, well, I mean, so obviously King Blue River has traveled a lot. He's made it to a lot of tournaments, and he's done a lot of. He's using the big body teams, which is very much an underdog
the big
team.
shell.
So a lot of people are going to vote for him. So I kind of expected him making it in there, but like you said, third place was actually kind of a shock for me. So, but yeah.
I'm really interested to see. I know he's working on a new variation on the team that has Shuma instead of Sentinel.
Yeah, now he feels the pain that I felt in Vanilla and Angelic feels everywhere. He went to a tournament and there was no Shuma on the machine.
Right. So we'll see if he brings that out in time. I talked to him earlier today, and he said he wasn't sure whether he would use it because he just hasn't had maybe enough time to prepare. But we'll see. Justin Wong second, no big surprise. He and Nemo were neck and neck, it looks like. Yeah. And Justin, I think, was on everybody's list. I mean, he's not only a tournament winner who plays really well and got second at Evo, but he's hype. I mean, he makes these crazy comebacks. You know, he has a team that's kind of a mid-tier, at least compared to some of these teams. So
man, see, if we talked about a long time ago, when you had the word Marvel and Justin, hype was the last thing on the list of words that you wanted to describe. But yeah, sure enough, here in Marvel 3, Justin Wong is super hype in this game.
It's true. Chris G makes it.
I'm so glad he made it.
Me too.
I was so scared he was going to miss out because everyone hates the more Doom stuff.
Right. But yeah, he's kind of a villain and whatever. But he has to be in there. He has to be in a Marvel exhibition without Chris G would just be ridiculous.
Him and Filipino Champ, if they're not in there, it would be ridiculous. So
yeah, I mean, I especially feel that way about Chris because I think he's the best. I think it's pretty much the consensus. So it'd be weird to not have the best player. Filipino Champ is like the next.
Right, but he's the only guy who's beat Chris G besides Justin in recent memory, right? So.
Well, he got in there. Who didn't get in there?
So you said that Marlon Pie getting in was more of a shock than Flocker not making it.
Right.
Is that what you said? See, look, I love Flocker to death, but him not making it was not a shock to me at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I was like 90% positive he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Which is why I made that initial tweet that I did, where I was like, don't forget, everyone, these guys aren't guaranteed getting in. Vote for, don't use your vote for these strong players if you feel like you want to see them there.
Right.
Unfortunately, not a lot of people like Zero. And unfortunately, Flocker doesn't have a very large social media presence. And I think those two factors kind of... and he doesn't travel as much as a lot of other people. So those three things combined together, I think, are kind of what caused him to not get voted in. Right. And it's really sad because he's EVO champion, right? I mean, right now, if you want to win any sort of like major national thing, Flocker's the guy to beat. But
yeah, right. It wasn't just Flocker. Hold on. I gotta do some tech here.
And you've seen how good we are at tech.
Yeah, it didn't work this time. It usually does. But there were a couple people who were.
What are you looking for here?
The full list of players, the original poll, just to look at it. Neo wasn't in the original list, if you recall. Yeah. We talked about that a little bit. That was kind of a snub. He didn't end up making it in there anyway. I wanted Zach Bennett to make it. He was one of the guys that I voted for because I think he's really good, and I think his team is really silly, and silliness is hype to me in this game.
Oh, gotcha. I wanted to see Angelic.
Right.
He was one of the people I voted for. Obviously, I voted also, my first vote was for Angelic. I voted for Clockwork because Clockwork gets me hype right? And then I really would have loved to have seen Killer Kai get in there.
Yeah.
I know that guy plays super hard, so, I know he's been trying very hard. So.
I know there are people who are upset that Ray Ray didn't make it, which is pretty legit. There are lots of players who could be in there. People who are hype and also really good. But anyway, so Flocker didn't make it in the top 8, right? He's EVO champion. There was kind of an uproar about that. He's not a hype guy, but he should be involved. So what they did was they made it. He's the final boss. So whoever wins the 8 in Capcom Cup has to then play Flocker.
I think he's playing all 8 people, isn't he?
No, I think it's just the winner.
It's just the winner?
Yeah, somebody confirm in chat, but I think that's how it's going.
Okay, because I kind of, for some reason, got the feeling that he was playing all 8. Maybe I read that wrong or something like that. So,
just the winner.
Just the winner? Oh, cool. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So he's literally going to come in and Raging Demon, and now you have to fight Akuma, basically, right?
Yeah.
Can Flocker come in and just be like,
he's
say nothing?
He's got to have an entrance.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's got to be some cool entrance. There's probably not going to be some cool entrance, but that would be pretty cool.
See, I actually thought he was going to play everyone. That was why I made the comment that, like, everybody he beats, he should take half their prize money. But I guess he's only playing one person then.
No, yeah, just one. And Nemo had this little...
dude.
You see his tweets?
Dude, Nemo was Dude, I was like...
Alright, so what happened?
He's like East Coast... Like, this is like East Coast Marvel, baby, you know? Yeah. No, he talked trash about everybody, right? I mean, what did he say about Filipino champ?
Yeah, he specifically said that if they wanted to give extra money to somebody for winning the Capcom Cup, they should have made F-Champ the final boss, because Nemo would blow through F-Champ, is what he said.
Right.
Oh,
man, yeah.
So that was cool. Did you just have the whole list of players up there?
Yes, I did, actually. So
let's see if there's anybody else who you thought was maybe snubbed.
Justin Long, Chris G, Philip.
Yeah, Ray. By the way, we're just looking at the Event Hub's unofficial poll.
I mean, it's like you said, PR Rog. He doesn't really play
Rog.
Much anymore. I would have liked to have seen him go in there just because. I mean, I'm PR Rog's biggest fanboy, right? So yeah.
Kusoru, okay.
Kusoru, yeah. I see. That's interesting to me that Kusoru did not make it over Abigail, because Kusoru came and took everybody's money in final round, and he said, "I'm never coming back." I felt like that this was the perfect opportunity to be like, "You're coming back."
I just didn't think that was going to happen. That was a while ago already.
Yeah, no, it was a while ago. It was a while ago. So.
Whereas Abigail had success like immediately before this.
Yeah,
Remember, he got second at Shadowloo Showdown.
Yeah, right.
So his name is fresh in everybody's mind.
See, that's the thing, is like, he got second at Shadowloo Showdown, but Marvel is still America's game. You know what I mean?
I almost would have liked more international representation, to be perfectly honest.
Oh really? Yeah, for sure. Like this list, Zach Bennett.
Yeah, Zach Bennett was somebody I voted for example.
Would have been really cool,
Moons, okay, that's a good one. Clockwork, like you said.
It's like
Tokido, Apology Man, Ramasama.
Ramasama, Cloud 805. But see, again, a Zero player, and no Zero player got voted in, right? Even though Zero is dominating pretty much everywhere now, he just wasn't voted in. Shin does really well. Dominion.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to go through everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were definitely some people who could have gotten in who didn't get in. But as far as the 8 people who got in,
it's a good set.
I mean, what do you think?
It's a good set of people. I mean, I am super happy Champ, Justin, and Chris G made it.
Yeah,
like that.
I agree.
That's cool to me.
They had to be in there, I thought.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah. The wild card to me really is Nemo. Like, I feel like he's the biggest wild card in there. I mean, much love to everybody on that list. But I just don't see Yipes, Cane Blue River, or Marlon Pie, or Abigail really doing anything to the 3 top guys in there, right?
Yeah, I guess I kind of agree, to be honest.
Right? So that's why, to me, the wild card is Nemo.
Okay.
Right? So this is what I was worried about. Like, I was worried that it was going to end up with, these 3 guys who are really good. Because the top players in Marvel have this weird step above, like, the next tier, right? it's kind of like Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter is the exact same way in Japan. There's like 8 gods of Virtua Fighter or something like that. This is what Gerald told me. Actually, it might not even be 8. It might be like 5 guys or something like that. And like they're at this tier, and then everybody else, like the next closest person is like below them. Like they can't touch these guys. You know what I mean? And I feel like Marvel kind of has that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But as far as Nemo goes, obviously he's a super talented player and very smart, and his team is really good, but he just hasn't been tested enough in the tournament style. It didn't work for him at EVO when he came to EVO. Even though he won those money matches that we're talking about, those extended set, keep in mind, money matches. In extended sets, he seems amazing. The question is if he can do the same thing in whatever format they're doing. I assume it's at least 3 out of 5.
Probably, yeah, I would assume so.
I mean, you got to think. So we'll see. Is 3 out of 5 games enough for him? You know, he has experience against those players that you were talking about, so it's not like he's going to be coming in, wholly untested against them.
Yeah, I mean, here's the interesting thing about Marvel is that Marvel is the kind of game where, it's super deadly because if you run into a team that you've never seen before, you're going to get blown up. You're just going to get destroyed, right? Because it's like, I've never seen all these tricks before, right? And unlike Marvel 2, for example, there's a lot more viable teams. Like, they're not going to win long tournaments, but there's a lot of teams out there that can blow you up. So what I'm thinking is that Nemo, playing in Japan, doesn't have a lot of experience with different players because there's not a lot of Marvel players in Japan, right? So at something like EVO, he's going to get blown up because he's going to run into something that he's never seen before, and he's just going to have trouble with that because he has no experience fighting against that, right? In this situation, he knows exactly the 7 people he's got to fight against, and they're using more common teams that he's going to be more used to. I actually think Nemo has a better chance in this tournament than he does at an EVO.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's just like that year Punko almost lost to the T-Hawk, the year that he got top 8 at EVO, right? He almost lost to a T-Hawk because it was just like, what the heck. But that's also Punko's style because he's woo, right? So, so
pretty much my thoughts on that.
But I mean, that's Seth is kind of like that wild cannon.
Okay,
so,
nice.
But yeah,
I definitely see what you're saying. As far as Kane goes, that kind of team is really matchup heavy, and it hugely depends on the brackets. It's the same kind of thing as in Street Fighter 4. Without knowing what the brackets are going to be, it's just going to be too tough, I think, to say who is going to be out of there and who's not. But I think you're probably right that Justin, I would give Justin, Nemo, Chris G, and F Champ like the very strong likelihood of getting top 4 in that.
So can I just interject one thing?
Yeah.
Can I tell you how much it sucks trying to talk about Kane Blue River knowing that he's in the chat?
Whatever.
I love you, Nico. I swear, but I'm just stating exactly how I feel. So
yeah, I mean he knows that.
Yeah, so
it's no big deal. He's definitely doing his best to level up, and it's the same thing with some of the other guys too. Justin is now doing this Hunger Games, SoCal Hunger Games.
That's actually really cool.
It is really cool. It's a stream that he started today, where he invites over some top SoCal players, and they just play Marvel for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And they figure out matchups, and they talk about it as it's going on, and they, it's good. So he's clearly studying up the game. He wants to win this.
Yeah, and he actually said he wants to level up SoCal. He's tired of everybody talking shit about SoCal. So he's just like, no, time to level up. That's why he's calling it the Hunger Games. You know what was actually really interesting? Someone actually told him like they should have just called it Wong Factor or something like that. And Justin literally said, then it sounds like it's about me. And I do not want it to be about me. And I was like, wow. Good stuff.
Okay.
But
I assume that all these players are doing that same kind of thing, that they're all studying up and trying to take this seriously. I hope so, at least, because I want the best, Marvel that we can see.
Is Chris G the only person in more than one game then? Or is anybody else in more than one game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin is also in Cross Tekken.
Oh, he did make it in Cross Tekken then.
Yeah, Justin's in Cross Tekken.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess there are 2.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, the Hunger Games is going on right now as we're talking. So
isn't it over? It's not over?
Oh, they're going to be playing until like 1 a.m. or something like that. In fact, Justin keeps asking us to go over there, like after we're done with our show.
What would we do? Watch?
I don't know. I know, seriously, right?
We're not playing in that.
Dude, he probably wants us to jump on mic or something like that.
Yeah, because it's not to play. That is for sure.
It is over? So people... Oh, that's right. Justin's going to Mexico this week. So this week he shut it down early.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, that's Marvel.
Yes, and I don't. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Marvel is the wild card, and the game. I mean, obviously, if it's 3 out of 5, it's less random. But I mean, obviously, there is that random factor in there. Okay, Blue River, remember, knocked Filipino champ to losers at NCR.
Ooh, F Champ can't take him lightly again, man. Remember the
Ghost Rider Gambit?
Yeah,
exactly.
Can't do that again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm definitely. I'm really interested to see how Nemo does, and who
do I think is going to win it? I like I said, it's one of those top 4. I think this
you don't have like
is
a
the likeliest story.
Pick.
Okay, fine. Chris G.
No, right?
You got to make me pick.
Yeah, that's why I was like, do I even want to bother asking this question? So yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's. I would almost take the field against Chris. But certainly, if there is one guy I got to pick, it's Chris.
Yeah,
it's definitely Chris.
For sure.
And I think I would still take Chris over the field, actually. So.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know what I think Chris G's biggest advantage is? Is that everybody who plays against him, they hate Morrigan Doom, and they don't realize how intricately he plays him. You know what I mean? It's just like they think he's just soul-fisting, and that's it. And it's so much more than that. And you've said it before in that one episode of Level 3 Focus. You're like, if people studied his fireball patterns, they might do better against him.
Oh, well, people are doing a little bit better against Morgan nowadays than they used to. But then there's Virgil and Doom and stuff, and that screws it up. So.
You're like, oh, I hit Morgan, X Factor, and then Virgil comes in, and you're like, oh, crap.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Cross Tekken. It'll happen.
Oh, no, I'm laughing at something that's in the chat. I'm not, sorry. My bad. All right, we'll be right back.